Congressman, what is your reaction to this move by the Trump administration? It's probably his latest immigration salvo here. What's your reaction to it?
It violates Americans' basic sense of fairness. It violates the Constitution. The 14th Amendment says every person in America, not every citizen, is entitled to due process. The Supreme Court in the Abrego case made that point, and it said Trump needs to try to facilitate the return. And I believe they're going to stand up for that fundamental fairness. But you have, Manu, an assault on basic immigration by this administration. I mean, they're banning all international students from Harvard University. They just announced today that for any student visa person, they're going to do a social media vetting. And if the person happened to say something that they disagree with, they won't let them in. I mean, it is a huge overreach.
I mean, are you concerned that Trump may win in this case with this conservative Supreme Court majority?
Well, look, I have some confidence, hope in Justice Roberts that he's going to read the Constitution and find what any conservative or liberal scholar would say, which is that in this country, people have due process. And that's fundamental to the country. They did that in Abrego. I wish they had gone further, but it would be a stunning rejection of the Constitution for them to conclude that there is less due process for immigrants than there is for citizens.
Congressman, I want to turn to the economy. Today, stocks surged on news that President Trump is pausing the 50% tariffs on the EU, but that's far from the end of this trade war. President Trump has threatened tariffs on 25% on smartphones if they're not manufactured in the United States. You represent Silicon Valley. You've repeatedly called for the revitalization of the industrial base. So isn't that exactly what Trump is trying to do here with these tariffs?
No, he's not. The revitalization is federal investment in our workforce, federal investment like the CHIPS Act. What Trump has done is the exact opposite. With blanket tariffs that are on one day, off the other day, he's created uncertainty. I mean, he posted on social media, let's do these tariffs on iPhones. Then Kevin Hassett, his economic director, is on CNBC today saying, no, we don't want to do the tariffs because they could hurt the iPhone. And so the business community is just totally confused. The only one who knows what they're doing economically, frankly, is Bassan. Everyone else is just out to lunch. And Bassan keeps reassuring the markets, no, we're not going to be irrational about this. And I'm glad that he has some understanding of what havoc that Trump's policies had done.
Have you spoken to Apple or Samsung about these tariff threats, and how are they planning to respond? What have they told you?
I have spoken extensively. I mean, they say it would basically hurt American consumer prices. If people want to pay $1,500, $2,000 for their phones, that's what it would cost. But the other thing is that what they say is they're going to move to Malaysia, to Vietnam, to India. If you want to bring back advanced manufacturing, you have to invest in the local workforce. You have to finance the new factories. That's what we did with the Chips and Science Act. That's what President Biden did with bringing solar and battery manufacturing. That's how we've industrialized the base. Yes, tariffs can be one part of it, strategic tariffs, but it can't be blanket tariffs without federal investment.
Today, Trump also threatened to withhold federal funding from California over a transgender athlete's participation in an upcoming sporting event. He said he plans to speak with Governor Gavin Newsom, who himself recently said that it's, quote, deeply unfair when trans women play in women's sports. So I wonder, given that, what Newsom said and Trump's threats, do you think that Newsom should comply with Trump's demands and ban this transgender athlete from competing in order to get these federal dollars?
No, we should not bend the knee to Donald Trump. Look, this is a pattern of him threatening states, threatening institutions. He threatened to take away all funding from Maine because the governor dared to speak out against him. He's threatened Harvard University to revoke all the funding for cancer research, for medical research, because they have foreign students. Now he's threatening California because he disagrees with what the California Interscholastic Association is doing to figure out a fair solution. The real issue here is less about transgender athletes and more about Donald Trump acting like he can threaten any state, any institution in this country that he disagrees with. And it is a total violation of federalism and the Constitution.